I'm Mary Rigdon. This is Decimal Place Farm in Conley, Georgia. Today I want to talk about managing goats on pasture. When I got into the dairy goat business, I thought anything that ate privet, poison ivy, and honeysuckle and turned it into tasty milk was going to be so much fun. I enjoy being out, and I feel that the goats enjoy being out and grazing the different things that are available different times of year. We milk year-round, which means we kid at least 6 to 7 months of the year, and spreading all that out gives us a great milk source. If you manage these animals to make them happy, then they're really great milkers. 40 acres and 40 animals is a very logical step for me. You have to trim their feet, you have to make sure where they're grazing and what they're grazing so that you know what the milk will taste like. The more consistent you are with your management practices, the better your goats will like it, the milk will taste better, and the product will be better for it. As part of our pasture management, we rough mow the pastures. We leave them about 4 inches tall when we mow them. Then when we pull the animals off, we let them form a seed head and then mow it back down again to that 4 inches. That way we don't hit any animals like turtles or rabbits, and we keep the pastures tall enough that any parasites wouldn't be able to get up that high on the blades of grass. It's important to cut the seed heads down because the goats don't like to put their faces through to graze. It's a beautiful field of lovely little buttercups, but it's a dairyman's nightmare because they taste really bad and make bitter milk. The bitterweed in the pasture shows us that there's nutrient deficiency, and you want to do something to address that so that you can have the rest of the pasture be lush and green. What we try and do is manage the land and help it as well, so the more rocks we put in the creek, the slower it goes and the less erosion we have. The streams on the property contribute to a better moisture level for the grasses, but also that the goats can get a drink and go back to their grazing quickly. For dairy animals, you want a lot of water available for them so they can make good milk. We're grazing out here in the woods. The goats come out each morning after milking, and they're busy moving around, eating the poison ivy, the privet, the honeysuckle, everything that's around us with up to about 5 feet. Goats are such efficient converters that if you can give them the browse that they love, they will turn it into that good tasty milk that you can make your cheese with. And I think it's pretty incredible that they use stuff that nobody else wants. Come on, let's go, girls. In the heat of the summer, this is a great place for them to graze because it's so cool and gives them a spot they can enjoy. In the spring, we have the tender shoots of the sawbriar and all the little leaves for that. In the fall, there's plenty of acorns from the oak trees that we have. As I graze with the animals and help them to stay longer at the graze, there are days when I find chanterelles and wood mushrooms as well. The problems with grazing like this is that you do have to watch for ticks. You do have animals that may come back impaled with a stick occasionally that you have to wrap a foot. You have to make sure between spring and summer or between fall and winter that you gauge what they're grazing out there. If they get too many acorns, you want to make sure that you don't have your alfalfa out in the evening for them. You want to make sure that they have what they need. This was a huge briar patch that we grazed all through the winter. In January, I mowed it, put out Austrian winter pea and ryegrass. We broadcast the ryegrass just by throwing it out into the pasture. It holds on to the soil quickly and comes up even if you've got just a little bit of moisture. We put Austrian winter pea in between that, and just a simple broadcast there again whenever we walked with the animals so that we'd get a good seeding of the area. We didn't till anything. We bring the fertilizer factory with us in the goat. This is part of the original acreage. These woods were grazed and lounged in by the goats on those really hot summer days. It's right by the creek, and shows here what they can do as far as eating all the underbrush over time. At night, we bring the goats into the barn. We milk, and then they come back and they spend their time in here. They'll eat hay if they haven't met their nutritional needs out on the pasture. Those who have will go and lie down. We work in harmony here with the land. The goats are nourished by the land. They put nutrients back into the soil as they graze through, and we're part of a grand circle here that tries to keep going. I am passionate about these animals. I believe in what they can do, the utilization of the land, and to make such a great product with them. As much as I can do for them, then they give back to me, and that's the most important part.